Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Drew. I don't know why, but on my screen it says invalid invite, what you posted on the in trading floor.
Da, da, da. Ah, let me try this. Just a second. I'm going to edit it. See if this works. It switched the number on me.
Yep, there you go. That's a good one.
Oh, I clicked the wrong room. I've got two rooms. That's what's. Well, no, it should have still sent you to the wrong room. Weird. Okay. Good to know. I'll pull it fresh every day. I just had a little thing that I was just pulling it off of just a clipboard. So, okay. That's good to know. Thank you. So, yeah, good morning, guys. So, looking at potential gap fill here on ES is what I'm looking at, and we're going to be switching back to MES after yesterday. It hasn't let me down for a couple weeks. Switched back to the NQ side yesterday, just with that 30,000 and liking the way that looked, and just had a lot more consistent success with ES lately, with the spreads, or not spreads, but the wicks and the how fast it moves. So been liking that. So we'll be switching back to that. It's also been being a little bit more technical with fibs. So we'll be looking at that here. Got a little bit of support. Let's talk about NQ though. A little bit of support here we had at 200. So let's see here. I'm gonna clean these guys up just a little bit here. So give this a little bit into open here, and then as far as news today, we have a Fed member who spoke. We have Cook speaking right before close. We've got Richmond Manufacturing Index here, about half an hour or so, and then nothing else really today. Pretty chilled day. There's like a 5-year note auction here at noon Eastern. So nothing too crazy today as far as news wise. So we got coming about a minute into open here. Let me make sure I've got my ES drawn up right. Yeah. So ES didn't get as far extended as NQ did overnight. So when we look at NQ here, this thing has just been just a straight up train. So we kind of had this double top yesterday. Once we broke through that and retested here overnight, she just went. This was about a 320 point move, maybe a little bit more, and she's just been ripping. Flip over to ES. It came up, but really all we did is tap our prior highs, so it's not ripping us hard. So anyway, here's that gap. There's gap fill. So hit gap fill right there, and we'll see if she decides to bounce a little bit here. I'm gonna flip the map over to ES. Let this guy load up here. And we're just
Good morning.
selling off a bit. Hey, good morning, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing alright. I'm done trading today.
You get the short?
I only traded last night.
Okay. The long all the way up.
I took a long and a short.
Okay. Nice.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Gary.
Good
Everybody's
morning.
here today.
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm on vacation, so I'm just waiting hard to get up.
That's good. So NQ still selling off here. Yes, caught. Here we go with NQ. Nice little sell off here. So This is the halfway back from yesterday also here. So if we draw a fib up from yesterday's low to overnight, we're right in that golden pocket. So just kind of keeping that in mind here with ES coming right to yesterday's point of control also.
Yeah, we gotta see what VIX does at 18.9. Not that, like, I haven't even been paying attention to VIX because I found this not correlating as nicely as prior to this all-time high grind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's less reliable, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think like putting focus on it the last 2 weeks has been more of a detriment than not.
I'd agree. I'd even say like the last month. I stopped watching it as much.
Had, like the 6-week climb higher.
Yes. Yeah, I stopped using it as much, honestly. It's a great tool. I'm sure it will all line up again someday. Right now, it is not that day. I mean, you can use it. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to put as much weight on it as, at least as I used to.
Right.
Still a great tool, but just have to adapt with it. That's all. That's all it comes down to.
Well, apparently the gap fill, entering the gap fill pre-market was the trade. Damn.
Yeah, that totally was. I think Armada got that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to take the gap fill indicator off. Right at daily fair value here at 38. So just kind of seeing if this holds. I mean, it's looking good on ES, so let's see if NQ starts catching itself here too. ES is holding the bottom of that OR.
Yeah, this would be a decent long.
Yeah, I like it. Definitely like it. Might take this long on a couple evals here. Just something light. Got support here on ES. I want to see how we react at this 100 area.
Absolutely hate when they do something like go up and reject daily full premium in the overnight session.
I know, it's like, why can't we do that, you know, 10 minutes into open or something? All right, so here's that test of that 100 on NQ. ES hasn't come back down and tested. I'm gonna take just one little position on ES longs here. So I'm in at 42.75. A little bit of resistance at 47. If we can punch through that, we should be able to see 55. This line here. this with a stop at 33. Just about a 10-point stop here. And we're looking for, man, lots of buyers just stepping in there on. I'm at 36, so we may see this come down and test 36 here. And then go. So I've got an ad here at 36.5. We're going to have our stops. I'm going to have them at 32 here. See if we can get this ad. This is testing daily for value on ES right here. I'm going to add in. I'm going to take it. So just my 3 contracts here. This is a bigger account. I mean, this account's got $9 grand to draw down. So nothing big with 3 micros on MES here. Want to see if we can hold this daily fair value.
We're getting a pullback.
Yeah, not looking good on the NQ side here. If this thing breaks through
If we
our
break
stop,
60,
it's
we're-
gonna go. So this is where we're looking for that bounce at this 36 area here. Like I said, if
We're
we
right at Asia low, and then we've got a Virgin POC at 29,977.
okay. So we caught right at that 36 area. See if we can push up to 55 here. Not looking as good over on NQ. That could drag us down. But if she can catch that as that first deviation, that's what we saw yesterday, was went down to that first deviation and then we came back up. Not that there isn't a lot of room down, but this would make sense if we're going to catch here. If not, we'll start looking for shorts or see that next kind of level down. Again, super small size here. Given the size of this account, just three micros on ES. VIX hasn't broken up above that 1882 area. Testing out that 36 area again here.
Yeah, now we have an all-time high in NQ that's over 300 points above us that was set during the overnight session.
Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that. NQ selling off. ES is holding its own right now. Just kind of that line in the sand. It hasn't had this move. So we'll see. We've got that support sitting right at 35. If it breaks, it could snap right down to 30 and then go. But NQ is just selling.
Here's the double bottom spot in NQ.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put my stops at 29 here and I'm gonna add to my full position size. There's just 5 micros on MES on this account. If it breaks, it breaks. So be it. But this is kind of that last little support here. I like the idea of that double bottom on in Q, bouncing there too. So we'll rock with this. Lots of support coming in here at this 30 area. Wow, look at that sell-off on Intel. Damn. Alright, so see if this 30 holds. If this guy breaks, down we go. I think I've got my
bringing the market down.
top wide enough for if this sweeps it. I just don't want to get bottom ticked out here. So cost basis is 39. I've got the stops at 28 here. Nvidia's dragging it. Wow. We just broke 30,000 on NQ, coming right down to that daily fair value. Let's see when we tagged here. Out. Yep, she broke it. Broke that 30.
There goes that.
Yep. Jeez.
Control.
Yep, she gave that up. Cancel that order.
And Q is basically back, halfway back to the larger drawdown.
Yeah. Let me get back in here. Full position back in. Hopefully you guys got that. That was quick, I know.
Oh, you got it quick. What was it, 5 micros?
Yeah, just 5.
Just 5 micros, 20 accounts.
Nope, 1 account. 1 account. It's got 9,000 of drawdown. It's my big account, so I size a little bit heavier for me on this account. Now there's 9 grand of drawdown here, so a little, a couple $100 here and there, it adds up. But yeah, this is the one that I'll let this is my account I'll let go all day with runners, and it's the one that usually ends up pretty green. So I don't love that. Dun, dun, dun.
hope JT took the opening range trade.
I hope so. That'd be beautiful. Be absolutely beautiful. Got that third deviation on NQ here. So I liked that it looked like we were holding that daily fair value on NQ. I liked that we were.
I think it's coming down.
Yeah, the way this is looking, this very well could. NQ is. That's. I don't like that we broke back down below the fair value. That's really what I don't like. We just tagged EMAs here, so. I like that we came to that first deviation on ES. I like that ES is holding a bit better, so. That's where I'm liking ES more than NQ lately, because we'd be stopped on NQ so quickly.
Right.
And that's what I was fighting with yesterday. I mean, that's 100.
Even today, just look at the.
It's
I
100
mean,
points.
the short on NQ is obviously golden, but like NQ is 200 points, 300 points above all-time high, and ES basically just double topped, and then you had
Yep.
a nice little short.
Yep.
ES just swept the highs and sold off.
Yep.
I mean, that gap fill off the news would have been nice.
Let me see here. I'm gonna grab the old iPad out. Back above the point of the daily fair value on NQ here.
Order filled.
That's not what we're trying to do here.
Order filled. Order filled.
So I'm just taking along on NQ on a eval here. Coming back into that daily fair value, I like that.
It's a good chance we come down to 900.
We could. I want to see how we react at this. If we can get back over 30,000 and then 30,050 here. I want to see how we react on. Let's see here. I'm gonna move my stops to break even on that eval. I'm in at 996.
Order filled.
I'm taking one off there.
Oh, you're in on ES?
I was in one on NQ, just on an eval.
Okay.
I'm running some evals hard. I looked it up. I've got like 30 some evals I gotta work through. How I ended up with that many, I don't know. They had all those 50% off sales and stuff. So we're rocking it. I've got stops just to break even now at 30,000 on these guys. On the funded here, we're long at on MES 529. Let's take one off here, coming up to that point of control. We're gonna move stops to break even here. or very close to on this play now. I want to give it enough room for a pullback, but not let it go red if we go. So I want to see how we react here. If we can punch through this 40 area. Hitting that resistance right there. I'm going to take another off on these evals here. About 80 points. On NQ. And so basically we're coming up to the bottom of OR there. Let's drag one more of these up to 35 just to lock in 5 more points and have these stops slightly in profit at 30.75 on the other 3 contracts. So there's that one off. So
The bottom on NQ was pretty much a perfect halfway back on the long draw from the Friday low.
It was beautiful. Let's see here. Yep, there's our halfway back on that move. I'm actually going to put my stops here just a little bit under the entry. 28. We've got, we have a lot of support at 25. I don't know that that'd be a 5 point. Get back 5. I'm not willing to do that right now. But this does have room potentially. I'm watching NQ because we haven't had that. We just had that halfway pullback on this last little wave here. NQ hasn't had that quite yet, so just watching over here on ES if these both line up with long draws and hold
Below the POC on both though for the move down.
That's the only thing we're right. I mean, we basically did a little look above that POC.
Same exact thing on NQ.
Yep. Yeah, I got NQ over here on the right. Exact same thing. Look above that POC and then straight down. But if we can pop right through it, if this little 50 pullback was what we needed to pop through it and get back into that OR, fib target on this is 41. If we break through that on Bookmap, we should see up to 46. So that looks good. Testing daily fair value high on NQ. But yeah, we got to break back into these ORs. If that doesn't happen, then this one's dead. There's our retested daily fair value on NQ.
Big picture, I like this long eventually because they just don't like to let the overnight traders establish the line in the sand as the all-time high.
Right. That's why I'd love to be able to hold this thing for a long time here. It's really my goal with this. I mean, that's why I'm not putting just stops at break even. It'll be a wash if this gets taken out. I mean, we'll still be up a little bit on this play. I know that's the re-entry of the first one, so we're still down a bit on the day. Probably on this account, we're down about $100 on the day. So again, with this size, I'm totally cool with that because when we get runners, it more than pays for it. So let's Let's see if we can break through this POC here. I got to see us break really through 40. Back into that OR. Let's see this fib target get hit. I also want to see NQ break over its session's point of control and get back into its opening range also. So that's about another 100 points up on NQ that I'm looking for. If it has to break this point of control here though, and really daily fair value high, break that 70, we may see it. Otherwise, if this is, we just can't break over the session point of control, we're going to see some more downside, I believe. Let me flip over to...
Because it would also signal acceptance of price back inside yesterday's range.
Yes. We have a lot of support over on NQ at 29,930 area.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like is how extended we are on like the longer time frame draws, like the weekly and the monthly with PCE coming up in a couple days. Tomorrow.
That could be pretty violent. That could be pretty violent.
I mean, we're pretty far off sides for a big news drop.
We're catching again on NQ here. Again, looking for us to break through this 40. If it targets 41, we gotta break through that point. We're over the point of control here. We could take one potential point for rejection here. Let's see, breakthrough 40. Let's see it. Nope. Not yet. We got support at 32 now on ES. There's 40. Just tapped it. All right. We're gonna drag this guy up to 40 for the take. If she keeps going, we'll just trail about every 2 or 3 points. We'll take that off and have 2 runners here. There we go. Taking this guy at 41.75. I'm just trailing up. There we go. Top of OR. 42.25. Again, every 2 or 3 points, I'm just trailing this up because if we can punch through, we'll see a nice little rip here. But out at 43. Yep, out at 43 here. So we got 2 left. I'm gonna run them with like, I'll run one with a 5-point stop. The other guy will run it with 10-ish points. If we break through 50, I'm looking for 55. That was that initial PT. At this point, I'm going to be looking more for about 53. I'm going to take, and I still am in these on my evals here for in Q. I'm taking them here. So I'm fine with that. About 100 some points there. See these guys all out. I'll let one just be a runner, whatever. All right, resistance coming in. I'm gonna drag this sell stop up here. Looking at that, up to we're gonna let it be at 42.25. Let's see if we may be hitting our heads here at 47 to 49 area. I'm fine taking one, leaving one. We haven't made it quite to the bottom of OR on NQ yet. This is our little test above high of the session on ES here. So there's definitely resistance here. We do have support down at 32. Let me draw this fib up. This guy will get taken, yep. Draw this up. Yeah, so this has enough room here to do an actual pullback. What is our halfway back on this? Yeah, we're right at our halfway back on this short draw. I'm going to drag this guy up to the bottom of OR. If we break back through the bottom of OR, we'll take it, be off. So that's only risking, that's about a 7-point trailing right there. I'm going to have that be right at 38.25. So I'm going to go top off my coffee, be right back. We'll let this guy run. If you like it, take it. I'm kind of leaning on this one's most likely going to get stopped out here. The way this is looking, POC just shifted up. But the thing is, if we can break through 50, that'll be great. There's a lot of room up on NQ that can drive us up. So, and it is just a runner. So no biggie. I mean, we're really just risking giving back, 25 bucks or so. So that's okay. We are right at that halfway back on the long draw though. So we'll see. You never know. Sometimes you get a 30-40 point runner. So that's why I like this sizing that I'm doing, especially on this account. I mean, I run small on my 50Ks. I do. I run 1 or 2. So I think the most I really ever run on these guys are like 7 micros for ES, not NQ. Out. How about that? And it was out at our fill. Sweet. That was a candle. All right. Man, those guys. 1 second candle. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God. Now it'll go. Now it'll go. No. That's insane. That is literally insane. So, all right. See what that's all about. Give this a little bit. What do we swoop down to? 33. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to flip over to a little smaller account. So looking at NQ, I want to see, do we come back down, retest daily fair value? Yes, here. I want to see, do we hold this 30 area? I'm going to tag back in with just 1 micro here. Put my stops at 32. We're looking for this to get all the way back up to 46. I've got my stops tight at 34. Actually, I'm going to have those at 33.25 for the stops. Came right to that golden pocket. If this plays out by the fibs, we'd be going right up to that 50 area. I'd be looking for about 48 here. I'm going to just put an order up there at 48. NQ sitting just below 30,000 again, right at its daily fair value. Flip over here. want to see if we can hold this 30,000 on NQ. Really, this 35 area on ES is what I'm looking at. You can see NQ break above 28, and it could be good. I'm going to take on some evals here on NQ again.
Order filled.
We'll run this one back. There we go on ES. Again, really need to see us on ES. I'm looking for us to get back above that OR, kind of get back above like, really I'd like to see above like 47 honestly, but above even like 43 I'd be happy with. On NQ I want to see us break above 30 for longs. I'm going to take one of those on the evals on the NQ, and then other one at break even here at 995. Dragging the stop up to break even on ES here slightly, taking it at 537, 537.75 is our entry. I don't like that we're not breaking above on NQ. This is a short draw on ES here, so I'm just cautious of this kind of hitting its head and then taking that next leg down. We're right at that 618. That's where I'm saying I'd really like to get back above that OR, get above this, and we could see all the way up to 55 here. I'm going to drag this TP up. I like the way this looks. All right, drag your stop into profit here. So got to see us break through this prior high to our left here at 46, and then really looking for a reaction at kind of this 48, and then up at 50. For this, oh my god, I'm gonna take on this. I'm running full minis on these evals on it's a 150k top step, and I am not used to seeing those numbers at all. It is awesome. So okay, I'm dragging these sell stops up here. We're up about 50 points on those evals here. So I'm just dragging up to 43 on NQ over here. As far as on these fundeds on ES, I'm dragging this up to 543 also. So we could hit our head here again, kind of like a double top situation. We're in a short draw on the higher time frame now. We broke the short draw on this little short time frame. So just kind of dragging this sell stop up. If we can pop through, this is my initial, this is what we're looking for. Running only one, if we were running two, we'd scale and have a scale out and have a second runner just at break even right now for running a little more heavy. So right there, we're seeing NQ kind of hit its head again, and we're out. So I'm going to cancel all, make sure these are all cleared out. So just waiting here now. If we can break through 50, we should be good. Oh, there we go. Knife down again. Knife down on NQ also. So testing that 30,000 on NQ again. Kind of that bottom of OR on ES. Flip over to bug map, look at NQ here. Might catch at 980, maybe. Yes, has its support all the way down at like the 530 area. This is where I'd like where NQ is. If I was looking for this to catch support, I wouldn't get it right now. I'd want to see how we react kind of at this 950 area. But I like where that's sitting a bit better than ES as far as if we're just going to keep looking for the long. ES it's got very nice structure, I will say that. NQ, we're kind of at this double bottom, yesterday's point of control, but we're below today's point of control. So that's where it's like, well, I like NQ on that, but I don't have to stab at it, honestly. Evals is fine, but I mean, if this gives up its prior lows, like this 950, then she's going. And there's the way I'm looking at this is like if NQ gives up this 950 and keeps going. I mean, we could get all the way to the fifth deviation pretty quick. That would just put ES down at like a double bottom, which is super doable. Also, you look at ES and came right up, couldn't break the 200, couldn't break that halfway back. Let me flip this over to the 2 minute. But we are in a very nice uptrend. And so it's like, well, we're either going to double bottom here on NQ, catch ourselves on ES, or if we break through that double bottom on NQ, that could drive us to like a double bottom type scenario on ES. We are coming about half hour away from that like profit taking time. I like that, you know, for potential reversals. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We are below the daily POCs on both. So it's not bullish, but I'm not seeing anything crazy on Bookmap on Q. ES has been a lot nicer to look at, and that's where I'm looking at this, thinking like, yeah, we may come down to this 30 area here, kind of where this line is, which is wrong button, which is like our double bottom. That means we could even go down and test daily fair value low on NQ. It's not out of the question. Which is another 100 points down. Let's see on ES, and there's ES breaking, so let's see if we go right down to that 30. EQ still holding right there at that 980 area. I want to see how we react at this 28, 29 area here on ES if we get there before I look at anything. Because if we knife through this and knife through in like 25 here, she's going. We're kind of right at that double bottom here on NQ, this 950 area. I would go on ES. This is where we could catch on ES here, this 30 area. That wouldn't be bad. I mean, that is like a double bottom on NQ2. NQ hasn't had this big move down like ES has right there. Kind of front ran it a little bit. We could take this with a 10-point stop on ES if we wanted to at like 30. There's NQ going down to daily fair value low. I'm going to jump in on this guy long here just to mark it in. Stops are going to be just below low a day. Might be an instant karma thing with that, but we do have that support. On yes, I wouldn't do it on NQ. I'm just running 2 contracts. Take the first one off a little bit early.
Order filled.
Got support here at 28. holds. NQ just came down to daily fair value low, that 880 area, fourth deviation. A little pop on ES there. Let's see if this guy holds. There's support there. If not, no biggie. That's why I'm liking this ES a lot better than NQ. NQ we would have been stopped out. Like, God, what is this move down here? It's like, yeah, 150 points. There we go with ES. We had a much better fill on one account. I'm in that 29, so we'll take that. On the copied accounts. Alright, what was my initial cost basis here? 32. Yeah, I'm gonna take one off. I move stops up. There we go. POC shifted on NQ. You got to see us break back over this really 950 area on NQ. There we go. Move stops to break even here. There we go on NQ. I'm gonna take off on that guy there. There's 8 points on ES. Drag this up to 35.50. Out on a few evals there. That's all right. Let's see if we can break back above daily fair value here at 72.73 area on NQ. Could be beautiful there. Out on that ES play. Not bad. Looking for us to get back over 40 on ES. For NQ, I'd like to see if we can break above 70 again, back above daily fair value. If not, we draw this guy up. Halfway back is that daily fair value. So we could hit our head there. There we go with ES, beautiful. Right to the bottom of OR. So here's what I'd be cautious of here. If you still have a runner, this is right at that kind of golden pocket here. So this could be where we catch that next leg down all the way down to 525. Just be careful of that. I saw sell off on NQ right there also. So it's got to break through on NQ 950, and then 970, and then we should see that 30,000 again. If we see 30,000 again, I'd be back looking for longs on NQ. Oh, there we go, selling off again. It's a wicked candle on ES right there. no. Let me go right to 25. Wicked candle. Wow. Same with NQ. They're not playing games today.
Order filled.
Potential bounce here. Nice little sweep right there on ES and in Q.
Order filled.
Nice. So again, over here, I want to see if we can break this 50 on NQ. Same thing here, looking for us to get back into the OR on ES. She's choosing violence today, that's for sure. There it goes on NQ. See if we can push over this 950. ES, again, break through 40. I'll be happy here. I hit her head again. Kind of surprised after that sweep right there. That was a lot of buyers stepping in. Let me flip over to NQ and Bookmap. Take a look at this guy. Yeah, there's room. Got to break through 70. Let's see it. Could be a nice little pop up here if we can break through yesterday's point of control. We got a little wall at 65. We can break through that 65. Push it. Come on, and break through 40 on ES. Let's see it. There it goes. May see 30,000 again. We got to break through this 70 area on NQ. There it goes. Here she goes. Look at that. Beautiful. Retest of daily for value. I'm gonna shut this guy down on all these evals. Man. And like some of these plays, it's like I'll love to take them on the funded. That's more aggressive and risky. I'm not gonna take that full size on these fundeds here, but different tools for different jobs. Let me see here. What's going on here? All right. Come on, break through 40 for us. Got support back at 32 again. Looks good up to 48 here. There's our NQ coming up to 30,000. That's beautiful. All right. Man, that's nice. Okay. I think I'm going to call it here for the day. Took a lot of that on evals and left a lot on the table with the fundeds with that, but that's totally okay. I'm all right with that today. But no, that was good. You know, kind of going into the rest of the day on ES, I would like to see if we can hold above 38. Okay. There really isn't another play for me until we break above this 46. We may be targeting 55 here if there are still runners. For NQ here, I would love to see us get back to this bottom of OR, kind of back to this 200 here. We are at our weekly anchored VWAP, and so we're right there right now. But, you know, we are, when you look at this, like, yes, this was a nice long, but we are in a downtrend. When we look at this right here, this last fib draw, we're right at that golden pocket to come back down even further to that fifth deviation, very likely. So, you know, I would say it's also likely that we suck right back up and kind of get back into this 30,100 area, kind of this OR. So I'm going to call it here for the day. I've definitely taken a little bit more trades than I normally take. The accounts are green, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, let's all have a great rest of our day. If you need anything, shoot me a message and be happy to talk with you about anything. So, all right, guys, thanks for jumping on. Enjoy your day.